It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.
Hello, model citizens. Welcome to Humanity Junction. Tonight on Trains and Tech, I've got a couple of things to unbox. So tonight might take a little bit of time, but I also do want to get to talking a little bit about my last ops session as well. Talk about how that went, where things are going. We'll weave that in and out of the show a little bit because, after all, everything that I'm opening has kind of some basis in kind of what I'm up to with the layout these days. But before I actually start opening stuff, I've got to reveal something that I think it could be karma. I think I might have brought it on myself. You see, let's change this here. So you guys might know I've got this letter. I keep running out of time to open this letter, and I keep trying to get to it every week, and well, something or other happens. We get to the end of the show, and I don't get a chance to open it. So it's coming back to bite me. I think it's coming back to bite me. Here, let me just share this real quick. So this is from USPS. This is a package that I shipped, model railroad related. Its destination is down in Florida. And I'm just going to kind of scroll through this package's travel around the east coast of the country. And all I can think in my head is, are they getting back at me because I haven't opened this envelope yet? So let's just take a quick look at this. So we started in New York on December 24th. So probably shouldn't have shipped something the day before Christmas. I know, but I thought if I get it out there, it's out there. And, you know, USPS doesn't lose things. Like, what? I don't have anything to worry about. So it was accepted, arrived at their facility at 9:04 p.m., left their facility on Christmas early morning at 4 a.m. Santa Claus picked it up and it started its journey south. So far, so good. It gets down to Jersey. It gets all the way down to Pensacola, Florida, then to Panama City, Florida. And it's at their post office at 6:22 a.m. on December 27th in Panama City, Florida. So we're good, right? This thing is going to deliver, and everything is going as planned. It'll get looked at. It'll get fixed. It'll get returned to me quickly. Things are good. And then it went back to Pensacola, Florida. And then it went to Milton, Florida. Then it went back to Pensacola, Florida. At least it's still in Florida. So then it goes to Pensacola. Then it goes to Montgomery, Alabama on December 31st. So we were in Florida, which is where the package is going. And now we're back in Alabama. Not too far, probably just got routed a little wrong, right? It'll go from Alabama back to Florida, we'll be all good. So we're still in Alabama. It's in transit. Now it's back in New Jersey again. So it went from New York to New Jersey to a couple different places in Florida, back to Alabama, back to Jersey. Okay, they'll get it straightened out, right? Okay, so it goes from Phillipsburg, New Jersey, back to New York, where I originally sent it from. So now on January 2nd, we are back to where it started. And then it goes to Jersey City. Then it goes to Palmetto, Georgia. I don't know. Then it goes back to Pensacola. Okay, so we're getting closer, right? Right? I mean, it's January 5th. Not too bad, I know, holiday season. We're in Pensacola, Florida. Then it goes to Montgomery, Alabama again. Wait a second. So now we're in Montgomery, Alabama, and then it goes back to Phillipsburg, New Jersey. And as of today, it's back in New York. So the only thing I can think of is that it's payback for not opening this letter. So what we're going to do is we're going to quickly go through all of these other boxes right here. We're going to open this letter. We'll see what's inside. Hopefully my bad karma will be forgiven. And I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We'll see. And Cameron says return to sender. That's what I kept expecting to see. Like, I kept expecting to see something that said, like, oh, the company is closed and, we're returning it because the company is closed. Or the company has denied the shipment for some reason, so they're sending it back to me. Like, I was expecting some note like that. But if if we look through this, list, there is no indication that it was a return to sender or a missed delivery or anything like that. And yeah, I get it. Like, sometimes there's old labels on boxes. I am very careful about pulling old labels off of boxes. I will cover up anything that looks like a barcode, anything that could possibly confuse things. I don't know. Let's open some other stuff. We will get to the letter, though. The first thing, I know, it looks like it's already unboxed. It's actually not. This is actually how it was sent to me in the mail. These are some curtains. And you might say, what in the world do curtains have to do with model railroading? And, well, here's what they have to do with model railroading. If we look at the overhead shot, you can see I've got a bunch of curtains that are actually blocking off kind of the lower stuff. And what I like, this is just me. This is my insanity. It's just, you got to deal with it, right? It's just the way it is. I like having kind of a finished look to things, right? So like, we've got a valence, we've got fascia. It gives a nice sort of finished look. And then I had all that clutter on the floor under the layout. So I got curtains there. I don't have curtains on this side though. This side's wide open. My work computers are down here. Things are just exposed. So I got some more curtains. So these curtains will go up. If you ever get to come to visit my layout, you can come and you can check out my curtains because that's the best part of the layout is curtains. And that actually made me think I want to bring something up as well, which is gonna, okay, here we go. So if you do want to come for an op session, just so I can mention it, keep an eye on operatingsessions.com. What I have actually started to do is it going to show it on here? It's not going to show it on here, of course it's not. But what I'm going to start to do is using their event system. Let's see, how can I see this? Can I not see it? Hold on. Give me a couple minutes. I know nobody's watching anyway, so. Oh, that's the wrong one. So what I did is I'm putting up my op sessions on here because I only have 3 people, 3-person sessions. I want to keep kind of I don't want to say an easy way, but kind of a whatever way. So if you want to come operate on the layout, let me know when you want to come operate on the layout. We'll get an event scheduled, get it up there, get people registered. Hopefully people will come to the layout. You never know. Some people come to a layout and they, sorry, this comment stopped me in my shoes. Anyway, so yeah, if you want to come check out the layout, that's kind of where I'm gonna keep things organized. And if you just want to check out, other layouts, you might find, other layouts in your area and, reach out to people and maybe you can connect with some other people in your area that have layouts. So yeah, I think it's kind of a neat layout directory. Eric Smith of the OpSig has put this together, and it's got quite a good list. But here's Mark Herrick's layout is on here just as an example. But yeah, so Al Dowman's got his layout on here too. Now I'm going down a rabbit hole. Here's Burr Stewart's layout. Anyway, okay, let's stop going down that rabbit hole because I can look at that forever. Andy, that is not true. We are going. Andy and I are going to an op session on Saturday at a layout that Andy has not been to. So I don't know how you can say there's only one layout in the area, but yeah, and the OpSig for $10. It helps. Yeah, Paul, put it up there. Here, let me. Why don't I share this link so that check it out. Check out other people's layouts and put your layout up there. So let's put these off to the side and let's get to one of the boxes. There are not any more 40-foot boxcars that I'm going to open tonight, as I've explained, and as you can see if you look around the layout, I have plenty of boxcars. We can even take a look at this view. There's boxcars everywhere. There's locomotives everywhere. I've got a bunch of stuff on the layout right now, but We do not have box cars, 40-foot box cars. There are no 40-foot box cars in here. So we'll get this guy open, and I'm gonna try and get through some of these unboxings kind of quickly because I do have some ops stuff to discuss. I can show people a little bit of some things that I am up to and whatnot. I'm gonna move this off. I just don't know what's in here, and I don't necessarily want to dox myself any more than I already do on a regular basis. So that's the first item that's in the box. I think that will give people an idea of where it comes from. And I actually don't remember everything that's in here, so I'm gonna open up the piece of paper to make sure that I can find everything. Oh, that's right. That's what's in here. So another item that is in here is this guy right here. This is an HO and N scale ruler, and on the back side here, it's got HO scale on this side up here, and it's got N scale down here. I always find it's good to have at least a couple of these. I have a couple of them. This actually, Dennis, this was not Iron Planet. This was somebody else, another shop. I always check Iron Planet Hobbies first. I do have a discount with them if you like buying model railroad stuff for a discount. Check out Iron Planet Hobbies. This is another hobby shop that I get stuff from every once in a while. So I pulled this next item out of the box, and I couldn't remember why I bought it. I was like, what was I thinking when I bought this? And I couldn't remember. I shouldn't eat, right? Like, I have to talk. I shouldn't put stuff. I don't know. Why am I eating candy? Anyway, I wasn't sure like what I got this for, and then I remembered what I'm trying to do is in the areas where the layout curves in the back there, I've cut some holes in the backdrop where the backdrop curves, right? So the backdrop curves, the bench work goes, through to the back, and I've got some tracks that kind of like come in, in the corner. Like over there's the ITLA building that Joey from Late Night Hobbies built for me. This one, though, I don't really have anything in that corner. And what I thought I'd do is I have two tracks there. So I thought I would get, this is the 2-bay engine house. I am going to cut it short, or not short really, but I'm going to cut it on the angle of the backdrop to kind of get it tight up to the backdrop. So this will provide a little bit of a cover for the hole that it goes through. So as I've said, plenty of 40-foot box cars. As I also said, plenty of locomotives. Definitely do not need any more 40-foot box cars or locomotives. So let's take a look and see what we have here. This I probably need to change the blade on this. This one's seen better days. This might take a long time just trying to get this out of here. What's up with the barge slip? Can you zoom in on it when you get a chance? Let's see if I can actually do that. If I come over here, let's see what this shows. It kind of shows it. It doesn't show it very well. Let's see, what other cameras might I have? I mean, I can just grab that and move it too a little bit. That's kind of where it's at right now. I haven't gotten much further with it. 1, 2, let's see, 3. Oh, I don't have camera 2 on there. So this is the barge slip here. Mine's only a 2-track coming in. I've got the turnout back here. I do use the yard leads to store some stuff. Everything on my float was 3D printed. This is a 3D printed transfer bridge, 3D printed car float. I'm modeling this off of the 69th Street transfer bridge. So my gantry that goes over it, I'm going to use the N-Scale Architect gantry, and I'm going to kit bash it a little bit to look a little bit more like the 69th Street transfer bridge. Yeah, the bubble wrap. Oh, let's go back here. The bubble wrap has put the show schedule off the rails. Unfortunately, that is very, very true. So I got a locomotive recently, this guy right here. My layout, partially being N-scale, partially being a switching layout. I'm running a lot of my switchers in a double consist, so like 2 units. I'm running mostly 4-axle stuff, so it gives it a little bit, you know, a wider pickup area. They can kind of help push each other across if there happen to be any issues. This locomotive actually ran really well by itself, but I didn't want it to be lonely, so I bought another RS3, same exact configuration and whatnot. This is the Erie Lackawanna one. So my plan would be to run the Erie Lackawanna and the Delaware and Hudson in a consist, and by buying 2 locomotives that have the same motor in them and the same, like, everything, I don't have to worry about speed matching. So like right out of the box, I can just consist them up and get them going. So that was kind of box number 2, but well, box number 1, kind of whatever. So here's another box we got. We don't have any more 40-foot box cars, but I don't know. You might know what's coming. You might have sensed it. So what happens is I get emails from. Do you think I need more RS3s? I've got 1, 2. I guess that's all I have are the 2 of them. I got the NW2s and the S2s and the S4s. I got C420s, GP30s. Yeah, I don't know. Are you sure there are no boxcars? I am sure of nothing. Yes, Dave. That is another thing that I definitely don't need any more of. So this is another this is another package, and yeah, this one actually has 40-foot boxcars. I'm a little nervous about what happened with the last bubble wrap, so give me a couple minutes and I will try and get the bubble wrap off of these. I didn't, probably should have looked and did that ahead of time. I'm making another train. I don't know if I'm making another train. I don't know if another train is the correct word for it. What I like doing with an operations-based layout is I don't want to run the same car to the same industry every time. And I know that is a prototypical reality, that does happen. But for me, I enjoy the variety. I think the variety is, you know, fun and that kind of stuff. So, you know, I hit up the used stuff. This is all used stuff. Some of it comes pre-weathered in that it's beat up. It's not actually weathered, but it, you know, it just adds a little variety to the layout. And yeah, you know, I might open a model train store at some point. So how big is the layout? The layout room itself is 8 feet wide by 9 feet wide by 11 foot tall. So this room is taller than it is big. The layout does not cross the doorway. It is only a point-to-point layout. It is built as a point-to-point layout on purpose. So yeah, that's about what it looks like. Matt says, I try to have about 3 times the number of cars needed to fill an industry so I get a bit of turnover. And when I was figuring out the design scheme for the layout, I was kind of doing everything. Everything was basically 3 cycles. It would move from staging to the yard, yard to industry, industry back to staging. So that's 3 sets of cars. And then I had a 4th set of cars that would then be my kind of like rotate in and kind of mix things up. And then, I don't know, something happened and I keep buying more boxcars. I don't know what, I'm not, I have a problem. I mean, I'm just going to come out and say it. I got a problem. I got too many cars and not enough layout. But I got some drawers behind me. They go in the drawers when I stage the layout. I pull all the waybells out of one set of cars. I put all of the other waybells in a new set of cars so that when they come onto the layout, there is a yeah. And this is true, right? I mean, you know, I'm not out on the street, so I have a ladder. I definitely have a ladder. So this is another 8 set of cars. Each of my trains is 8 cars long, so everything is based around this set of 8 cars. This is an NMRA 2035, it says, express service car. I don't know what this was made for. It's another special run car. Got that. I got these 2 Susquehanna, NYSW Susquehanna cars, shipped with Suzy Q. 2 different numbers, 2 different colors. Got a King Packing reefer. Here's another Hills Brother Coffee reefer. I got this Minnesota Mining and Manufacturing Company. It's not a split rock car, but I do have some split rock. I do have a split rock car on the layout. So I thought a Minnesota Mining box car would go well with a with the you know, I don't know, you know, I gotta send guys stuff, so I gotta have box cars to send stuff. So I now have 2 cars that I can send out to Mr. Gager in Minnesota. We got the L&E cars people have already mentioned, and then I've got the ACL car, another cushioned load, the Atlantic coastline car down here on the bottom. So it gives me another set of cars, another set of unique cars. As I've mentioned, numbers aren't necessarily the easiest things to see on cars. So by getting a variety of cars, a bunch of different looking cars, it means that the operators don't have to struggle to read numbers as they are trying to switch cars. And I guess ironically a little bit, I went to another layout, was it last week, 2 weeks ago? 29th of December, however long ago that was, 2 weeks ago. I went to another layout, and even in HO scale, work in the yard, flat cars, center beam cars, they're very hard to read the numbers on them, and I found myself looking at the colors and looking at the color that the car card stated to help find the cars that I was looking at. These next two items kind of go together. These were kind of recommended to me as far as being able to do some research on the layout. I'm very good at collecting things to do research, but I'm not very good about actually reading things to do the research. So I'm more, I guess, of a research collector than a researcher. I don't know if I should be admitting that or not. But this is an item. It came from a famous store that everyone's familiar with. It says "Handle with care" over here on the side. We're gonna open this up if I can. Oh, they taped the easy open thing up. Of course they did. Well packaged, I gotta say. It looks like they've got they got a nice. It comes with a very nice piece of cardboard. So a very nice piece of cardboard, well wrapped in plastic. I'm gonna remove that. Oh, here we go. Extra 10% off 2 or more items, valid for history lives only on eBay. If somebody wants to actually use this code, feel free. I'm probably not going to. That's funny. I like this. A research collector is a librarian. I like that very much. So the reason I got this, and if you do any kind of car float stuff, even though it is New York Harbor car floats, this might be interesting. I am forgetting the name of the author, but we will. I'll remember it in a second when I open up the next package over there. But I was told about this writer. This person is actually a tugboat operator in this area. They've actually worked with the railroads, and this is November of 2019. This is New York Harbor car floats today, car floats after Conrail. So I'm hoping to get more information about running car floats in New York. And yeah, exactly, Ray. Like if I actually read it, the value goes down. But I'm really trying to do, I guess I would say, like, I'm trying to zero in and do some more like very specific research. Like a lot of the books and stuff that I have that are up there behind me, they're more general things. I do have some waterfront stuff up there, but a lot of them are just like general New York Central books. This one is very specific to New York car floats. This would technically be a little bit after my time because this is obviously car floats after Conrail, so it's in the 80s, late 80s, I think it is when it's actually about. But anyway, yeah. So that's that, and we do have one more item to open, and then we'll talk about operations, and then we'll open up the envelope, and yeah, we'll get there. So this is a book. If you look up this book online, if when I open this up, this is interesting to you, you can find this book in a lot of different places. The cheapest place to buy this book is to go direct to the manufacturer. So it's like $85, $90. Everywhere else, it's only $57 direct from the manufacturer. And even with shipping, it was still significantly cheaper than anything else. Every time I walk over to this side, I see the fruit snacks, and I just want to eat the fruit snacks over there. So this is another book, and of course it's wrapped in plastic, which means if I break the plastic, it loses value, as Ray pointed out. Paul Strubeck, that's the guy's name. Paul Strubeck wrote that article in Railfan and Railroad. He made a deal with Garbly Publishing, Garbely Publishing, I believe, to do 2 books. So this is actually called or considered volume 1 of the set. And as I mentioned, he was a, I think he might still be. He's still alive, Paul Strubeck. The people that I operated with, or that I operate with in this area, actually knows Paul. And they suggested that I get this book just to kind of help with some of the, how things operate down there around my layout, around the layout, how things operate in that area. So yeah, Diesel Railroad Tugboats, Volume 1, East Coast. And I thought this would be interesting, and it would be, that'd be helpful. So I'm starting a thing. If anybody does a live stream or any video actually, and you say around the layout during the video, when you go to Amherst, Ray will give you a pat on the back. And so if you want that kind of support, I recommend saying around the layout as often as you can, and Ray may even shake your hand. Oh, New Haven Rails has it. I know Andy Estep has it as well. What era does it cover? I don't know. This extensive history is illustrated with over 400 photos, blueprints, drawings, and technical data. Book sections cover all of the major tugboat designs utilized by the railroads, interior layouts and components, construction methods, blah, blah, blah. Covers tugboats used in the railroad maritime operations of New York Harbor, the Delaware River, Philadelphia and Wilmington, Norfolk, Hampton Roads, Sewell Point, and Little Creek area, and Baltimore Harbor. So I don't know what year. I mean, the pictures up here, that looks very much like a 40-foot boxcar from the 60s, I would say. Maybe. Although it does say New York Dock Railway. I don't know. And this was, I'm assuming this is a painting by Dave Boone in 2020. So I don't really know. It's an Illinois Central boxcar. I can't make out what that one is right there. Reach out to me later. I'll open it up and see what I can find. But Paul Strubeck is a modern tugboat operator, so I'm guessing he covers some of the modern stuff, but it's cool, Adam. Maybe Heath will read that. What did Adam say? Yeah, Andy says he has it. Oh, you're gonna farm out the pats on the back? Oh, it's disappointing. What did Adam say? Oh, here, they have an online archive. Who has an online archive? New York City. Yes. I was a member. I haven't renewed it. They sent me the thing to renew it. So I probably need to renew it. But yes, the New York Central Historical Society, which is based in Illinois, I think. Yeah, it does have a thing. If I had my Discord open right now, I would go check it out as well. Steve Davidson says wife used to work. I'm assuming he used to work because you're not in Virginia Tech area anymore. Library, and they have the Central Archives for the Mid-Atlantic region. There is also, I posted to NYC-Railroad on groups.io, And there was a gentleman that answered me that used to work the 69th Street Transfer Bridge. I think he said from 53 to 57 or something like that. So there are still, oh, geez, Thomas, I'm not, yeah. Yeah, so there's still people out there that have worked the High Line, that have worked the car floats in this area. So I shouldn't say it, because if I say it, I'm going to have to do it. But when this guy responded to me, I said to myself, you know, that time in history isn't going to be around forever. I should get him on my live stream and interview him and let people ask him questions and stuff like that, because like when that personal history is gone, it's gone unless we've talked to them. So I kind of wanted to like reach out to people that have done this stuff and have conversations with them and just kind of do it. Yep, Mike's who I'm talking about, who worked the High Line. And there are a lot of people out there, and the biggest hurdle, it would just be the technology, because not everybody is great with the technology, but like, you know, we'll figure it out. Derek wants to know where I am going to put the books. I don't know. I have no idea. Oh, maybe if I'll give Andy his book back. I think I have, yeah, I believe this is Andy's book. Designs for Urban Layouts. Is that yours, Andy? I don't even remember what book Andy lent me. Isn't that terrible? I don't think I've opened it. I put it up there and I don't think I've opened it. Is that the one? Designs for Urban Layouts? I thought you gave me a different one too. Anyway, that's it on the unboxings. Suspend the box over, yes, that's my book, the Ian Rice book. Okay, yeah, so I'll remind me, and I will bring it to you on Saturday, and I can look through it as you drive us to the op session. Maybe. Yeah, I would probably look through them more if they were actually up in the apartment, but anyway. I do want to talk a little bit about the op sessions, the recent ones, how things are going. There are some incredibly experienced operators, some incredibly experienced railroaders that are in this area. And one of them came over to operate on my layout. When was it? On Sunday. Yeah, on Sunday. And I was pretty nervous about it, because I was really afraid that like things weren't just going to run right. You know, like when you turn a camera on a layout, like nothing works, right? I mean, so I was terrified that this person was going to come over. Andy actually joined us. So it ended up being that this very experienced operator ran the north side of the layout. Andy ended up running the south side of the layout, which was his first time running that part of the layout. Andy is actually getting very good running the yards. And I did the engineer job, the running stuff back and forth. And it actually went really well. Things, for the most part, all worked. The person running the north yard said the locomotive that he was using was running really well for the whole session, which was really great, because I was just happy that something was actually working. He didn't have a lot of questions. He did make a suggestion. He said, put a switch in here, was one of the suggestions. I don't know that I'm going to do that right now, but it is something that wouldn't be too hard to add at some point. But at this point, I'm not going to add it. And the switch that I'm talking about adding is the switch between my caboose track and my engine track. And the other suggestion, or one of the other suggestions he made that I am definitely going to do, is he suggested that a way to utilize more of your locomotives as well as get your cabooses into the mix, because essentially I'm running all of this as a branch line. So everything's in yard limits. It's just Mother May I working with the other operators. But I've got this, this long staging tracks back here. And what he suggested that I thought was a really, really great idea is when I prep the layout for a session, he said to put a locomotive and a caboose on your train. So when you're pulling this train in, it's got a locomotive and a caboose on it, which then means the person pulling the train in has to then pull off the locomotive and the caboose and put them on the caboose track and bring them into the engine facility. And then the same thing with going out. When they go out, have them, put a locomotive and a caboose on the train to then take it out. And I thought that was like a really great way to add another layer of complexity to the operations, is that the road trains, the trains that are coming in from up north in Selkirk, would come into the layout with their own locomotives, and then they would go, trains going out would come. So I thought that was a really, really brilliant suggestion. I thought that was good. Split Rock is saying too, see if you get the same suggestions from multiple people, especially if it's a physical change. That's actually a really good suggestion as well. So I put the caboose track here with the thought that when the train pulls in, the cars would get left here and the caboose and everything would come around and they'd get dropped off here. But he made a good point that like you may want to just access it from the other end as well. Just need to give a little shout out to Mr. Roy Elpham. Thank you so much. He gifted 20 Humanity Junction memberships. I do have memberships here on the channel. They help out. They help me acquire more boxcars, as well as I'm starting to get some structures and some different things for the layout to enhance, at this point, the operations on the layout. Somebody asked earlier whether I have been recording the op sessions, and at this point I have not. I did record an op session earlier on when we were using JMRI switch lists. The last 3 sessions have all been completely new because they've been with car cards, and I didn't want to get distracted too much by the live streams. I wanted to really focus on, thank you, Roy. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Sorry, I got confused. What was I saying? I didn't get confused. Sometimes I focused on Roy's comment, and then I got a little distracted. Yes, 100%, Dennis. Absolutely. Oh, there's a good example. So Don's layout, the PWMRR, I was gonna try and say the name, but I'm not gonna try and say the name. But Don has a CSX train that the CSX train comes in with CSX power. I forgot about that. So it was it's those little things, I think, that a experienced operator can suggest on your layout that can kind of take it to the next level. The other thing that he mentioned that I'll just say is he said, instead of starting with trains and staging and trains in the yard, he said just start with trains and staging and have the trains brought into the yard and then brought to the industries. So kind of, right now I have 3 sets of cars. That would drop it down to 2 sets of cars. The idea being is there's still a little bit of confusion on bringing the cars into the yard and then holding them in the yard and not breaking the binder clip of cards that say store in yard. People are still breaking them, and I'm trying to. I went to 4-way car cards to solve the problem. I went away from 4-way car cards with version 4.0 because I didn't want to go through what I went through with version 3.0. I completely screwed up version 4.0, so I got to make version 5.0. So I might go back to 4-way, which makes that problem easier. But yeah, so the other thing that I asked him, though, in kind of, I wouldn't want to say rebuttal, but kind of my comment back is I said, do yards always start and end empty at the beginning and end of a session? Because I always just sort of thought that like the next crew comes on and the next crew just picks up where the last crew left off. So it's like I didn't know for my ops scheme whether I really wanted to start with a yard completely empty. So what I am thinking of doing is instead of 4 trains in staging that come in, what I might do is just do 3 trains from staging coming into the yard and have the 1 train already be in the yard. I don't know. I'm still working it out. I like the 3-way flipping. It means there's 117 cars to touch, but no trains are moved between yards all during the session to keep the no trains are moved between yards all during the session to keep the yards busy. I'm not sure I understand. But yeah, so kind of the idea was instead of starting with all the trains in the yard and all the cars, sorry, all the trains in staging get brought to the yard, all the trains in the yard go to the industries. Instead of having all of the cars in staging being brought to the yard and being held, I might start it kind of midway into a session. So 1 or 2 trains in staging would already be in the yard. 1 or 2 trains in the yard would already be at the industries. So that like the process was already in the middle of the cycle. Don Wolf, to talk, I would love to get your thoughts. Hey, maybe even when you're up here, you can come down and do a little ops. But all trains are moved between yards during the session to keep the yards busy. Gotcha. Yep. And that's kind of the way I'm doing it now, is where everything moves to kind of keep everything going. So one of the other things I want to show is I am using a zone track spot system for my layout. So every area of the layout has a zone. Every track has a track number, and then every spot has a spot. And I have like I have little spreadsheets, but at this point I didn't have it on my drawings. Let me actually read. So Thomas is an engineer. So let me see. In the prototype at shift change, you'd find some tracks sorted and the rest passed on to the next shift. Yeah, so I think it, I All ops related conversations with Don, send your questions in to Ray at Around the Layout Podcast, and Ray will ask Don the questions on the podcast so that we can all join in and get the information. So I'm doing zone track spots. So Selkirk, I lost my cursor. There's my cursor. Selkirk, zone 11. This is an any track, any spot situation, so I'm calling it 000. But like if you get down here to Croton-on-Hudson is 25. Track is 701. Manhattanville is 31, and the tracks are 711, 712, 713, 14, 15. So these are some drawings that I made that I'm going to put in the ops primer. So if somebody wants to, get this information, they can, have it in the ops primer. I then also did an entire spots section as well. Oh, if you're going to be here for Island Ops, Don, and you are going to stay either a day before or a day after, I will find a way to get you up here if you want to run this layout, because. So this sheet here as well. So what I did is each area. So like Croton-on-Hudson, I said the track number was 701, but I did not have the spots listed on that other thing. So here's 701. Here's the turnout. So here are your spots: 01, 02, 03, 04. On the waybills, this is what you'll see. You'll see zone 25, track 701, spot 01. So this will also be in the ops primer as well. So like Manhattanville is a little more complicated because it's got kind of, multiple sections, but again, it's 31, 711, spot, 123, 123. These Mink Building, Studebaker Ice and whatnot, I'm not 100% sure whether I need to look through Conrail's ZTS maps and confirm whether should this all be track 713 and then call it spot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or is it okay because they're different industries to call it track 713, which is this section of track on there? But that's what I did for now. I think it kind of helps to kind of make it work out. But yeah, I think this same thing. So here's Riverside. These are the Riverside Industries right off of Riverside Yard. Has a team track, 2 freight terminal tracks. So I think this will help. This will help a couple of things. There are 2 operators that would essentially need this information. And that information would be the North Yard person that is going to be blocking these cars before they leave, because while they can be sorted out on the road, if the operator that's doing the yards can do at least some of the blocking, it would be helpful. So by having these charts, it will help them standing in the yard to be able to do that, to know what's out there when you're over here. Dennis asks a good question. Is the numbering system prototypical? So what I did do that is kind of prototypical-ish is if you look at a Conrail ZTS map, all of the tracks have numbers that describe what the tracks are. So 701 through 9 something or other are industry tracks. So that's why I numbered these 7 whatever to whatever. The spots are usually 2-digit spots. The way Conrail ZTS did their maps, if you were delivering a car, let's say to Studebaker Ice, and let's say this entire track was 713, the waybill might say Studebaker Ice 713 0102. And that would mean that you could drop the car on either of those spots. Or like here for the team track, it might say 721 0105. And it means you can drop that car for this industry at any of those spots that are available. So the 721, 22, and 23 are based off of the Conrail ZTS. The zone, this 41, 31, those are completely made up by me. Basically, I just did, starting north to south, 11, 21, 31, 41, and 51, and 61. One thing I did do, though, if you see here, Croton-on-Hudson is 25. Cortland, which is the area that contains Croton-on-Hudson, is the 10s is a 2. So Croton Harmon Yard is 21. Croton-on-Hudson is 25 because they are both in Cortland. That happens again here in Riverside. So Riverside is 41. 72nd Street is 45 because 72nd Street is a part of the Riverside area. So it is within the 40s. So Dennis helped me out, and Dennis actually used Illustrator to make a drawing that, in my opinion, looks better than this. It's a little more, I think, prototypical than what this is. But what this is AnyRail 7. So I have this entire layout in AnyRail. And what I did was basically just took it and started chopping it into pieces, and just kept chopping it down into further and further pieces. So when I did the zones, I chopped it down to that, and then when I did the spots, I chopped it down to this. So these will be in the ops primer. So if you do decide to operate on my layout, I'll have an ops primer that I'll send out ahead of time. Most people don't read them, and I expect that, but I will have things like these maps and everything printed out as well, so that people that are here can see them, as well as what I will do also is on the tablets, I'm going to put the zones and the spots on the tablets, and they're probably going to be pretty small, but I think that it'll just be another resource that that I can use, and ultimately that is kind of the goal, is to allow operators to come and enjoy their visit and make it prototype-esque, but also still have enough information for operators that want to operate the layout to be able to operate it. So before we get out of here, as I said, I really do need to open this envelope, because if I don't open this envelope, I am going to continue to have bad karma. So let's get to it. Let's open the envelope.
It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.